Namaskara, Harsha here. Welcome back to the 21-day headstand challenge, or as I like to call, 21 days for anyone to master the journey or master the headstand practice. So today is day 5. In the last 4 days, I taught you how to do the first variation, the second, third, and the fourth variation. So today I'm going to teach you how to do the fifth variation of headstand. It's very similar to a certain extent to the first 4 variations. It's just that this will help you boost your confidence and make you understand, okay, that you'll be able to do the headstands way beyond your imagination. And this is something that actually helped me also boost my confidence with respect to the headstand journey that I started about almost a decade ago. So today I'll be teaching you the fifth variation of headstand. If you're someone who is new to this, if you haven't seen my early videos, find the link in the over here, or you can find the link in the description. Do the first 4 variations of headstand, then you can go for the fifth variation that I'm going to teach you right now. So before we go to the fifth variation, let's just have a recap of the first 4 variations. So as usual, as I say, take support of a blanket. Never ever practice headstand without a blanket, at least for the first 5-6 years. It's been almost 12-13 years since I started practicing headstand, and I use a blanket even to this day. So interlock the fingers, the tip of the thumb touching one another, the little finger touching one another. Never ever let go of this little finger. Remember, the moment you let go of this, that is when you tend to fall when you practice headstand. Keep the little fingers together, then the probability of you falling when you practice headstand is 0. It's literally 0. The main culprit why you fall down when you practice headstand is this little finger. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. That's why I always emphasize that make sure you keep the little fingers close to one another when you come up to headstands. So the tip of the thumb touching one another and the little finger interlocked. First, we're gonna place the hand to the wall with the knees on the floor. You place the crown of the head, you lift the knees, walk in, and then you come up. So this is the first variation. Try to stay here for 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever duration. So this was the first variation that we learned 4 days ago. So now let's go for the second variation. Second variation, you just let go of the hands one by one, and then you place the palms in front of you. Remember, never ever keep the fingers together. It's very essential that you keep the fingers wide apart. So this is the second variation of headstand. Now the third variation, you just bring the little finger close to one another by turning the palms and then touching the forearm one against each other. And then the fourth variation, you bend your hands and catch hold of the elbow. So these are the 4 variations that we did in the last 4 days. So now before we go on to the fifth variation, just come back, adjust the position of the head. If you feel like you're very tired, you want to rest, you can come down by bending the leg, dropping the knees, and then you rest the head for a few seconds. You slow down the breath, and then you slowly come up. So before you practice the fifth variation, it's very essential that you gain mastery to a certain extent, or at least practice the first 4 variations. Remember, all of these asanas, all of the different variations of headstand that I'm teaching you right now comes in a sequential way, in a sequential manner. The first, second, third, fourth. So this acts as a preparatory practice for the fifth variation. All of these are interlinked. I'll be sharing more on these in the subsequent videos as to how the practice evolves by time and how you evolve in the journey of headstand also. So now let's go for the first one, the main practice for today, this being the day 5 of the 21-day headstand mastery or headstand challenge. So this is the 5th variation. So now you're able to do the first 4 variations of headstand to a certain extent. Now let's go for the 5th variation. So in the 5th variation, before we do the 5th variation, let's just come up to the first one. Keep the fingers interlocked, let the elbows be tucked in. Now place the crown of the head, lift the knees, walk the leg in, slowly come back up. Now straighten the leg. This may sound and seem a little bit crazy, but this is how it's done. There's no other way. So for you to go for the 5th variation, the one that we've been waiting for. So from here, first you let go of the hand, come to the first variation, and then you slowly stretch the hand in the front. And then you let go of the left hand, bring it in front of the face, and then you slowly stretch the hands in the front. And the one thing that you have to keep in mind when you practice the 5th variation is, if you keep the foot together when you practice this, the tendency of you falling down is higher. So I suggest all of you to keep the foot apart. So when you keep the foot apart, naturally the buttocks and the calf muscles come off the wall. It's very easy for you to balance. See? It's very easy. In the 5th variation of headstand, if the buttocks are touching the wall, you actually feel a lot of pressure in the neck. So in order to avoid that, I usually suggest all my students to take the buttocks off the wall. It's much comfortable actually. You feel very, very comfortable in this position. Keep the hands straight and make sure the fingers are stretched and the fingers are wide apart. And then you stay here. You can start by staying here for 5 seconds, and then you can extend the stay for up to 30 seconds also. And then you're coming down. First, gently bring the hands back, and then move them to the back of the head. And then you slowly bend the leg and drop the leg down. And once you do that, as I tell you all the time, don't come up immediately. Bend the arms, rest the forehead. Slow down your breath. And then you slowly come up. So this is how you do the 5th variation of headstand. Mark my words when I say, the day you feel like, that you are able to do something like this, your confidence level will go up. Yeah, super high. You'll have very, very a nice feeling that you're able to let go of the hands, you're able to stretch the hands and then just balance the body weight on the head. Sometimes you'll feel like, okay, the body weight is too much on the head, then you're not able to bear. All of those things will subside. See, pain and all these things are quite common. It's through a lot of trial and error that you learn how to gain mastery over the headstand. And especially when you do this, you feel like, okay, you've achieved something. And that special feeling is something that no one can give you. It's something that you can achieve only when you practice consistently. So this was the 5th variation of headstand. And as I've told you, if you want to gain mastery over this, try to practice the first 4 variations regularly over the span of weeks. And only when you feel like, okay, you have enough confidence in you to do the next variation, that's when you go ahead. Else, just wait. Don't push yourself. Give yourself certain amount of time which is needed. The body needs time. If you just push your body too much in the very beginning, you tend to hurt yourself. And up until this day, none of my students who have practiced under me have actually been hurt because of practicing any asanas, be it the headstand or the handstand, backward bend, whatever it is. Injury is unknown if you know actually what techniques that you have to do when you practice any asanas for that matter. So the way I'm teaching you right now, it's a very, very safe way of practicing. Even if you're a complete beginner, if you don't have a right individual to guide you, I'm teaching you each and every technique, how to go and practice headstand step by step, and you'll be able to gain mastery with respect to the headstand in a shorter span of time. Mark my words when I say this. So this was the day 5, and today you learned the 5th variation of headstand. So try to hold in this position for like 30 seconds to start with, and then gradually you can extend the stay. I hope this was informative. I hope that you really liked the practice that I have shared. Please do share your views in the comments as to how you felt, because that's the only way for me to know that that you're really watching this video and that this video is informative. I'm really not interested in impressing people by the comments. I just want to know that I'm bringing a change in you with respect to the practice, and I'm actually helping you gain mastery over the headstand. Just a small message will really help me in creating more of these videos. And as I say always, if you have specific questions, please do write to me directly on my email, or you can reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter or any of the handles, and I'll be more than happy to guide you. Have a great day, enjoy the headstand journey, and I'll see you in the next one.